Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be walking you through this today. We are talking directly to you, founders. Today we're going to diagnose a very specific, almost invisible friction that is likely sabotaging your beta launch right this very minute. And more importantly, we're going to architect a completely new way for you to present your worth to the market. So, if you've been feeling like your beta asks are just kind of falling flat, or you're working way too hard to convince your inner circle to jump on board, you're in the right place. Let's start right here with a simple, stark truth that you absolutely must internalize. Value does not need defending. This is the fundamental concept we have to establish right out of the gate. Your offer holds immense value even before a single person buys it. You see, the transaction doesn't create the value. The transaction is literally just an acknowledgement of the value that's already there. But it's crazy how many highly capable founders completely forget this the second they open their mouths to sell. All right, let's dive into phase one, the beta launch sabotage. We really need to examine how brilliant founders unknowingly ruin their own beta invitations simply because of a lack of internal belief. It's a crystal clear divide. When you doubt your value, you end up explaining far more than necessary. You know the feeling, right? You filled a silence with features, with caveats, maybe throw in some extra bonuses, and you nervously talk around the price. But when you truly trust your value, your clarity speaks entirely for itself. Certainty communicates worth. You state what it is, what it does, and you just stop talking. The difference in how your buyer perceives these two approaches is absolutely massive. Moving right along to phase two, the justification tax. So we need to formally name the exact mechanism that is currently draining your authority in the marketplace. The crucial point here is understanding exactly what this tax is. It isn't financial. Well, at least not directly. It's actually a penalty you pay in lost trust when buyers sense that you don't even believe in your own offer. It's that invisible friction created when you defend your price and overexplain rather than just confidently stating your value. Your buyers are incredibly smart. If they sense you're trying to convince yourself that the price is fair, they'll instantly start doubting it too. You are literally taxing your own authority. Let's check the actual symptoms of this justification tax. Many founders struggle with selling because they question their worth, and that hesitation leaks out through some very specific damaging behaviors. First up, internally questioning if the offer is truly worth it. That inner dialogue, it's deadly. Second, over-explaining to prospects, like giving them a 20-minute answer to a super simple pricing question. Third, discounting the price. Be honest, how many times have you lowered the price right before sending an email, just hoping it would make selling a little easier? And finally, making constant adjustments to the pitch, endlessly tweaking the copy because you think the words are the problem, when really, your internal belief is the problem. Which brings us to phase three, the undeniable impact. Let's see how this all builds by looking at a real-world scenario. This is a micro-story of a founder who experienced a massive, fundamental identity shift regarding their worth. I once worked with a client who kept dropping their price, totally trapped in that symptom we just talked about. They were terrified people wouldn't see the value. That's step one, pure doubt. But then we mapped a shift. We completely stopped looking at the price tag, and instead, in step two, we reviewed the real, tangible results they had already helped create. The impact was real, it was consistent, and that naturally led to step three, speaking with absolute certainty. Once they grounded their language in the actual outcomes, buyers responded in a completely different way. Now, what is truly fascinating here is that it reveals the root cause of that founder's struggle. The issue was not the offer. The issue was worthiness. Really think about that for a second. The actual value of their work did not change one single bit during that timeline we just went through. The product was exactly the same, but their internal belief finally caught up to the offer. Selling isn't about persuasion, folks. It is fundamentally about a transfer of belief. And that leads us to phase four, the outcome anchor protocol. To permanently fix this doubt, we use this specific strategic framework as the primary architectural brick of a high-authority invitation. By following this protocol, you anchor your pitch strictly to the real impact of your work. Step one, you strictly stop justifying and explaining. Just cut the fluff entirely. Step two, you ground your language in outcomes. Your offer holds worth because of the outcomes it creates, nothing else. And step three, you start stating with certainty. Certainty becomes your ultimate closer. You simply state the facts of your impact and you let it stand. And look at what happens when you actually do this. When we reviewed the consistent results this client helped create, these were the undeniable impacts. They saw immediate confidence shifts, both in themselves and in their prospects. They saw clear decisions. Buyers weren't confused all that over-explanation anymore. They were given a clear binary choice. And they saw real progress. These are the undeniable impacts that allow you to finally replace overexplaining with absolute trust. When you trust the worth of what you sell, believe me, others can immediately feel it in the room, or even through a quick email.
All right, on to phase 5. Stop defending, start leading. We're at the decisive moment for your beta launch. You must accept that value always precedes the transaction. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself right now. Think about the last few conversations you had about your beta launch. Think about the emails you've drafted lately. Are you justifying or are you inviting? An invitation implies that you hold something of great value and you're graciously offering someone the chance to be a part of it. A justification, on the other hand, implies you're on trial, basically begging the jury to agree with you. So which energy are you bringing to your inner circle?
Here is your operational directive moving forward. I want you to take out a piece of paper today and commit to these 3 steps. First, list 3 real outcomes your work actually creates, not features, outcomes. Second, speak entirely from that truth. Do not let yourself stray into defending the price. And third, let your values stand. Silence is incredibly powerful. State the outcome, state the invitation, and wait. Because when you trust the worth of what you sell, you really don't need to fill the air with nervous chatter. If you're realizing right now that this internal shift is exactly what's holding you back, and you want some help mastering this concept of worthiness and value, heading over to 365freedom.online is the logical next step. It's perfectly designed to help you step fully into your authority so you can finally stop defending your worth and start leading your market. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought as you approach your beta launch. Will you finally let certainty replace over-explaining? Your buyers are waiting for you to lead. They're waiting for you to be certain. So are you ready to stop defending your worth and start allowing your undeniable impact to speak completely for itself? Make that shift today and just watch how your beta launch transforms. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.